and draft. Unfortunately, I forgot to do the 3-cone, but I have that for you guys next week. I'll fill that in. So just to recap, over 6 foot, weigh more than 189 pounds, arm length 31.5, 40 time less than 4.48, less than 4.22 20-yard shuttle, and more than 36 inches in vertical.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about some of the players we want to see that are getting some hype? Do you want to add to this list at all, or subtract?
No, that's fine. No, I think you've pretty much covered most of the areas that we're going to be looking at when we're looking to draft a defensive back or a cornerback safety. There's obvious guys on the list who if they have a good combine will definitely be up there. I mean, they're probably already up there already, but they could boost themselves up a couple of slots. There's Josh Jackson, Denzel Ward, Derwin James, Minka Fitzpatrick. But then there's other names of players who could fall in other rounds, who could really push themselves up the board with a good combine, and that's like Damon Webb of Ohio State.
Right.
He plays as a safety. There's Tavares McFadden of Florida State, who's Derwin James' teammate. And then there's another one, Isaiah Oliver of Colorado.
Yeah, big name.
These are all guys who, if they have a strong showing, can really boost themselves up the draft board, because I feel like there is quite a few teams in the league this year who need a corner or a safety.
Don't forget Mike Hughes from UCF as well.
Yep, of course. Yep, that's the one I missed off my list. But basically, they're the kind of ones that I'm looking forward to seeing the most, because I really feel that the Raiders could have a shot at picking them in different rounds.
Listen, after last year's combine, Obi Melifonwu was getting first round talk. You know what I mean? That's how good he was.
Yeah. But it's still early days, isn't it? I mean, he was injured most of the year, got put in at corner against the Patriots.
No, I still think he's he can be really good, Obi Melifonwu.
Yeah.
He just needs to stay.
Coaching. It's coaching as well. We alluded to it earlier. It's the coaching.
Coaching and the medical.
Has to be, the coaching has to be top notch for these players, because that's how they develop. So, exactly. I mean, the future's bright for him. I think that some people have written him off a little bit, but I think with the right backroom staff and that, he's just gonna do just well, I reckon.
Who I want to really see is Minka Fitzpatrick. We don't know. He's always played in the slot in Alabama.
Yeah.
I want to see how fast he is. Is he fast enough? Does he run better than a 4.47? 40 to see if he can play outside, you know what I mean? Or he's just a slot or thin guy. Another guy they were talking about is Josh Jackson. They don't think he's that fast. So that's 40 time here is going to really help him out. I remember last year, Tease Tabor from Florida, he was borderline first round guy, and he came out and ran a 4.63. Then we were saying, okay, let's see what he does in the pro day, and he came out around at 4.7, and he dropped all the way to the end of the third round. So it plays a big drop. That is a big drop. That's a lot of money you're losing. You're going from what?
Yeah.
$2 million to like $600,000 a year.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, teams look at it, and defensive backs actually cover the most ground playing. So they've got to be able to, show all of these qualities, as well as having good fitness and stamina levels. Because obviously you can't afford them to switch off for a moment, because if you're playing against a decent quarterback and they spot one of their teammates and try and throw them the ball, if you've switched off mentally and physically, then you're no good to the team. So I think that's partly why they do these drills as well, to see if they can handle the workload, as well as obviously all the tactical side of it as well.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to defensive end. And
okay.
One thing you want to do is when this center snaps the ball, how fast does he get off the line? How much burst does he have? And can he get around the offensive tackle, how much bend does he have, right? So
yeah.
Two things that measure, and also you want to know how, can they bull rush, how strong they are in their hips.
Yeah.
So the 3-cone really measures their bend, how much they can bend. The broad jump and the 10-yard split, which is the first 10 yards in a 40-yard dash. See how fast off the line you can get off and how fast you can, what kind of burst
the power
you have.
in
the power.
The power in their legs. The power in their legs from the broad jump and the 10-yard split. That really kind of defines if they're quick off the block and they're going to be aggressive in their style of rushing the quarterback. Because obviously you need them to be explosive off that first 10 yards.
Right. So I also made that list of, all the best 4-3 defensive end guys and what they scored in those areas, right? So I looked at Khalil Mack, Calais Campbell, Joey Bosa, Myles Garrett, Aldon Smith, and Cameron Jordan. So height, greater than 6'3", weight 260 to 280 pounds, or 285 if you go that far. But I would say 260 to 280, 285. 3-cone, less than 7.2 seconds. Broad jump, greater than 9 foot 8 inches. And bench press more than 19, so at 20 or more in the bench press, and 20. I even did 20-yard shuttle, and that you want to be faster than 4.51 seconds in the 20-yard shuttle. So these are what I have, when I compared the other guys, the top tier 4-3 defensive ends, and you have it. And I was looking at Bradley Chubb film yesterday. I saw 2 back-to-back plays against Notre Dame, and that's the team with the best offensive line, right? They have.
Yeah, they've got quite a few players. Offensive tackle, guard.
What is it? Offensive tackle was now all the names are skipping my head because I'm on air.
McGlinchey. Yep,
McGlinchey, and you have the guard who's probably the best player in the draft. I saw Bradley Chubb first play do a quick inside move and beat the offensive tackle. He couldn't even get a hands on him, right? Second play, he was a stunt and he bull rushed and just ran over the guard, which is ridiculous. This guy is. And if it's 3-cone, because we don't really know how much he can bend. I mean, he does bend, but he uses quickness and power too on tape. If he runs a 3-cone like faster than a 7.2 or a 7.1, he's going to fly off the board. There's no way the Raiders are going to touch him. So that's something that can earn him a lot of money. And another guy who was climbing up the draft boards really quickly is Marcus Davenport.
Yeah,
we've seen him play against Tier 2 schools, but we haven't seen him play against Tier 1, except for the Senior Bowl, which he played well in the Senior Bowl, not the practices. So those things are really going to show how strong he is, how much he can bend.
I'm going to add a name to that list as well. Ogbonia Okoronkwo.
I love that guy.
Oklahoma.
Yes.
What's that? Sorry?
No, I was going to say I love that guy. He's really, really good.
Yeah. See, here's another option. If you want to draft in the first round a different position, he may be there, but obviously if he has a good combine, he could really shoot up the boards. But if he's there in the second, he'd be excellent value in that round.
Yeah, he might last. He reminds me of I don't know. He's very quick. He has good inside moves, not just the same thing. He has multiple moves. You have, I don't know how much Harold Landry can bend. Arden Key would be key in the interview process. So a bunch of good guys.
Yeah. The only problem with Okoronkwo is he's on the shorter side and his weight is a bit under what you would normally want for an edge rusher. But in terms of obviously his overall play, he's impressive for me.
Yeah, he reminds me more of a 3-4 outside linebacker.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. He reminds me of like an outside linebacker. Just in terms of his style, his build.
It's just if he's going to play a 4-3, he might have to move to the Sam position.
Yeah,
and
which is where we could, if we cut Irvin, that's where he could fit in possibly.
Yeah, and so that's the thing. Another guy was we already mentioned. So keep a lookout for Bradley Chubb, Harold Landry, Arden Key, Marcus Davenport, Ogbonia Okoronkwo, and there's some other guys too that don't get much hype. You have Duke Ejiofor, Deshaun Hand, Hercules Mataafa. Now this guy is kind of interesting because he is very productive, but he plays a defensive tackle. He's only 250 pounds, which is not going to do in the NFL. Okay, how tall you are. You have to be more than 250 pounds. So we would love to see how he moves as an edge guy. Maybe he does well enough there.
There's Joe Ostman as well.
Okay.
He's another interesting one who will fall probably in the later rounds, but he's actually been very productive in the last year. So there's definitely guys there in each round that could be a fit, but it just depends how high you want to go in the draft.
Yeah, and the big board is going to determine that, right? So you look at the combine.
This is why these combine drills can really play a big part in teams' draft boards. Because they've obviously got an idea now. They have scouts. They watch clips. They watch tapes. But this kind of sort of confirms whether they should be interested or they're not so interested anymore. It kind of can determine that a little bit. I wouldn't say overall, but it can play a part. If they've had a really poor showing, then that can really damage their chances.
By the way, Gavin, I plugged this numbers against our current not defensive ends. I plugged this numbers against Mario Edwards Jr. and Jihad Ward for the edge guys, and Mario falls right in. Only thing he doesn't in the players I named and the
drills,
the drills and where they need to be to have an impact. Only thing Mario doesn't have is the 3-cone, the broad, the vertical, the bench press. Mario bench press is 32. None of these other guys did 32 except Myles Garrett, who did 33.
Yeah.
Even I looked at the so Mario, if Bruce Irvin doesn't come back, Mario could also play the edge position in like running downs because he has the power.
He just might not have the change direction and movement and agility as the other ones. But
the 3-cone and the 20-yard shuttle he doesn't do as well. Nowhere close. But he has the height, the weight, the broad. So against the run, he can fill in the early downs and move inside.
Exactly. And it's always good to have people who can rotate.
So that's a perfect guy. You can start him at the outside, first down, running down. Second and third down or third down, obvious passing situations, you move him inside. You can move him across the line. Have him facing up against different people. And basically, that is like a joker in the pack. They don't know where he's going to line up, what he's going to do. And it can really cause problems for other teams when they think, this player's going to play this position this certain way. But then you line him up in different places. It gives them different like kind of fakes, if you know what I mean by that. Like you're kind of faking what you're doing. Yeah, so keep in touch, in our Twitter, and we'll tweet out the updated final, our analysis, and the analysis chart will show you, where these players rank and things like that, where they fall. Do you want to move into D tackle?
I
think that's our other need right there.
Yeah, I'd say that's quite a pressing one, really. We need to kind of get some broad shove and brute strength in that position. We really need to shore it up, and that could help Mac actually quite a bit as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's it's going to be interesting to see what numbers the defensive linemen and defensive tackles